last minute preps as we're getting ready to tackle Billy Goat Bluff. Just saw a large group of patrols and a couple of Land Cruisers head up, so giving them a bit of space. I'm back to a single GoPro for filming this, which is a shame. My other one, the waterproof case, flooded in the storm last night. So there's the rather innocuous looking start to Billy Goat Bluff track, and we'll be heading that way very shortly. So it's been a few years since I last did Billy Goat Bluff. Would have been January of 2021, I believe. And that video is up on the channel. Could have been 22.
Thank you. I'm actually quite excited for this. I've been looking forward to doing this track for a long time.
And because of the weather we've had, you heard me at the start, so I'm back to a single GoPro. So I've got the Hero 7 mounted inside the car because I don't have a weatherproof case for that, just in case it rained.
Very steep on the other side of that hump.
And already it was clear to me at this point that Billy Goat is more torn up than it was even 2-3 years ago. Last time I did it, let's say it was 2 years ago. This first section was always pretty easy, and already lots of exposed rocks, some small rock steps. You really do need to choose your line. Keep in mind, I'm driving this in what is basically a stock 70 series Land Cruiser, road bias all terrains, open diffs, no lockers, and it's an older one, so no traction control either. The other guys have all got traction control or lockers. Bit of a wheel lift there. And all the other guys are coil sprung as well, whereas the 70 is leaf sprung in the rear. I don't know if it's coming through that well, but there's a massive wombat hole just there on the right. So obviously I'm trying to take a line that is going to keep as many of my wheels on the ground as possible to keep traction and keep driving.
Yeah, reverse back.
So I just pulled up there to make sure everybody was progressing.
Oh, sorry, right hand there, fuck. Okay, back to the driver, okay. Come down. Really, go slow though, go slow. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. You're on level ground now. Level ground, keep coming back. Reassess. Pick a different line. But keep your, reassess, because I can't really see what's going on there, but don't try and climb the bank to the right hand side.
So that was Luca on the radio. I think he was talking to Dan, not to me, because he's in convoy behind Dan. Since it looked like I'm doing the exact opposite of what he was suggesting there. But as you saw, I just lost traction a bit on the left, so had to reset and choose a different line.
Yeah, try to keep your vehicle as even as possible. So, you know, even if you have to go over the top of the wombat holes. Now,
So
okay, Dan,
coming up to the first big hairpin here, and definitely taking that left-hand line because the 70 turns like an absolute barge, especially compared to the Padge.
good stuff. That's what I should have done.
Still managed to make that in one lock, just. And there's certainly sections like this that are a nice, easy drive. And as you can see, look, the sky is nice and blue. We're expecting to have good conditions.
This is gnarly.
All the way up. And yeah, as you've just heard me say there, this is gnarly. Massive big rock shelf on the left-hand side there. And I'm just debating, am I taking the rocks or am I taking the dirt?
Got transmission template, come on.
I've just decided to take the left-hand line on the rocks because they're warm and dry, so traction should be good. And that proved to be the case. And
yeah, you shouldn't have it in second or first.
as you just heard there, Dan's getting transmission temp lights coming on already. So we'll come back to that a little later on.
It's probably related to your traction control. I used to have that issue in the Padge.
Dan, can you select manual mode in yours, like flip the lever and pick your gear? Yeah, just 1 second.
So yeah, really happy with how the 70 did on this track. Just climbed everything I pointed it at.
Okay, so I've got traffic behind me, so we might, if we can, I don't know whether we can or can't, but just a reminder that people are behind us. Right ball, I think we should go and take it easy. And if there's a spot I can pull over, maybe I'll go for a bit. Okay.
So just looking for the line there.
Transmitting at once, I think. Yeah, there's people behind us, so depending on how long we're going to stop, let them pass when we can. Only if we have to stop, of course, for the transmission to cool.
So most of this I'm driving in second gear, low range, which is not fast in the 70 by any stretch, but gives you plenty of control over your speed. And as you can see, most of this lower section, there's huge pieces of it like this that are largely just exposed rock now.
The transmissions always seem to like too high a gear if you put them in drive. That works the hell out of the automatic too, but yeah, okay. Yeah, it makes it get really hot. Yeah, so mine's about 70 degrees and I just pick the gear. I've always done it, even full driving, just pick a gear and leave it there rather than having the transmission slip through gears and working overtime.
So again, a couple of rock steps here. And coming up to a flat spot here.
Bit of crunch on the side step, scared to look now.
Amazingly, I've found a flat spot. I'm going to pull up here and wait for you guys a bit.
So yeah, just pulled up there and knowing that Dan's transmission is overheating on him already, and waited for the guys to catch up. So here comes Paul and his FJ, and Dan's tucked in just behind him, and then Luca in the TB48 Patrol. And you can see those guys behind Luca coming up, so it was a good opportunity for us to pull over, let Dan cool his transmission down, and let these guys pass.
Dan's got the same issue with the Prado I used to get with the pads. The transmission is overheating already. He's going to try and nurse it along and see how that goes.
Just give it a minute.
So yeah, after a brief stop there, we've decided to push on, and as you can see, we're starting to get some rain spitting on the windscreen. The sky is not as clear as it was, and we haven't even got to the helipad yet, so we're starting to wonder what we might be in for. Another big wombat hole, as you can see there in the middle. And we've got some traffic coming the other way. Obviously heard us coming and has pulled over and left us miles of room. And again, this section of the track is largely just rock. Anything that's not rock seems to be getting weathered away, whether it's from traffic or rain coming down and water running down the track. Now I should point out this video is part of a larger trip, but there's so much interest in billy goats at the moment. I just wanted to post this and get it out there. Everybody's asking about what the conditions are like, and the reality is by the time I get up to this trip and editing and filming editing and posting the whole trip, it'll probably be nearly seasonal closure time. So this track in particular, I've decided to edit this video out of sequence and post it early so you guys can see a full video on the Billy Goat Bluff track from January of 2024 this year. So through this section, nothing too difficult, really just a matter of keeping your line and keeping your speed controlled. Getting close to the helipad. Again, this section's a little more torn up. Big wombat hole there on the left hand side that I've gone right to avoid. And then some more rock steps coming up here. The in-cab angle's not great for showing that because you see a lot more bonnet, so apologies for that. But yeah, as I said at the start, my weatherproof case for the Hero 8 flooded and that died, so I'm back to the single GoPro and had to mount it inside. If I try and mount it too high on the windscreen, the green colour on the band on the top of the windscreen comes through on the camera footage. So just a long steady climb here, and again sections like this aren't too difficult as long as you pick your lines. And I believe this might be the final climb up to the helipad now.
Lights back on. I haven't been in drive, been in low.
I'm just about at the helipad, so I'll pull up there.
I reckon that aftermarket tool is a bit dodgy.
So yeah, this is the first big trip for Dan in his new Prado. No, it's not.
Could do an early lunch maybe. Let it cool down for a little while.
So we decided to do exactly that, pull up on the helipad and get some lunch sorted.
I think it's got about, do you want a chicken fillet, a little bit of chicken?
And give Dan's transmission an opportunity to properly cool down.
No, I'm good. I've got some roast chicken that I brought for lunches.
So just making up some lunch there on the back of the 76 on the derrick table that I got from Stratus Outdoors. Been a great addition to the camping kit and works well in the back of the 76 as a quick pull-out table. You can pull it all the way out. It's a freestanding table as well, so been really happy with that. This is the second trip that I've really taken it on, and yeah, we're just looking at the sky and wondering exactly what might happen with the weather. Are we going to get more rain? How much rain are we going to get? Luca did have a look on the Dargo radar site, and that seemed to indicate that it was a small confined storm that was probably going to come through and pass over pretty quickly. Yeah, sort of on that basis we ended up deciding that yes, we would push on. So of course by the time we're actually jumping in the cars and heading off, the rain is getting heavier. But we're expecting it to be fast moving and small, so we thought we would press on. So Paul's headed off in the lead in the FJ, and yeah, as you can see on the screen there, we may have been wrong about the weather.
I thought you took that GoPro off. Sorry, Dan. You right?
So just working our way down from the helipad before beginning the climb. If you've driven Billy Goat before, you're used to that. You climb up to the helipad, then you have a short descent, and then the track climbs the rest of the way up to the Pinnacles Lookout pretty much. And certainly before not too long, we're into a good rocky climb. So this second part of the track is a lot rockier, more rock steps, and more difficult than the first half. So look, the rule of thumb's always been if you get to the helipad and you haven't been comfortable with what you've had to drive to get there, it's a good place to maybe elect to turn around. But if you got to the helipad and you've been fine with it, by all means press on. You can see decent rock step here, and I've had to give it a bit of right boot there to push on, and that rain is sort of pretty steady and the track's starting to get pretty wet. Everybody except me is running decent mud terrain tyres, and I'm still running those road bias all terrains. And I pretty much found the limit of traction with those on this trip, as you might see. So you can hear them slipping there on the rocks. Dry rocks, they grip fine, but once the rocks are a bit wet, they're a fairly smooth tyre and struggling for traction.
That wasn't where I wanted to go, but I got there.
Road went right, obviously. This is sketchy with me with all clearance. I went left on the rock.
So,
did you nose in though, in that spot?
Also, the 76 I'm driving is the only vehicle without a lift as well. Still stock suspension in it. So, all those posts you see about, look, stock suspension, stock...
I thought there was a rock stuck under my wheel. What the fuck's that?
There it is.
Yep, that was thunder. Stock suspension, stock tyres, size, can you do it? Yes, you can. A winch is advisable, and I wouldn't recommend doing it solo.
Well, we're certainly off the beaten path.
Most definitely, mate. And I'll tell you what, for your first crack at Billy Goat, it doesn't get tougher than this.
You can see Paul's FJ is just like a mountain goat. That thing just crawls over everything, flexes nicely. Coil suspension front and rear. I don't think he lifted a wheel just about this whole track. Just does really well. And look, the higher we're getting, the tougher this track's getting, and the heavier the rain was getting as well.
Mate, if we can achieve this to the top, I think we deserve a bloody pat in the back. We'd do it in the fucking rain.
So, a little bit of a wombat hole there.
Come back a bit.
And
Yeah, I think I'm going to struggle here with traction.
There's rocks right behind you, you might bite into that. You're in a rut though between the rock and the dirt on your back right, sorry.
so yeah, Dan's just behind me, you can see what's going on. So again, really helpful on a track like this if you need to reverse, to have somebody behind you giving you the confidence that you can reverse. The reversing camera just doesn't really show you the full picture. So we're going to have another crack at this.
Hug left, I reckon is the play, or hug right.
Yeah, I'm going to need a bit more room, Dan, because I've got to get off the brake and onto the accelerator.
That's me not being confident that I can do a good hill start in a manual. Turns out it didn't roll back at all.
Drop through the brakes.
But yeah, no traction there to start off at all. The track's just getting too wet for these tyres.
No, you need a little bit more bump.
Yeah, this is the problem. I've lost momentum.
So yeah, just looking to reverse down to a flatter section to see if I can get...
What's behind me, Dan?
You can cut them straight back. It's all fairly flat.
Fairly flat being, you know, relative.
Back right's about to go in a little divot, but you're alright.
Okay, let's have another crack. So when you're accelerating and the car's going backwards...
No, I'm going to have to winch. I was sliding backward on full acceleration there.
Roger, I'll come out and make my vehicle safe.
You sort of know that's the time that enough's enough. So yeah, we've hooked the winch up to the left hand side there. There wasn't heaps of trees here that were options. And I think this was my first use of the Sherpa winch. And have to say, pretty happy with it, and pretty happy with the alternator and the battery setup in the 70 as well. It's you know, as long-time watchers of the channel will know, I've had battery issues in the Padge in the past, particularly when winching on that trip with Dan from May last year, and I was keeping a very close eye on the voltage here. Now, this is me not doing a fantastic job of balancing the acceleration with.
Can you just put some tension on that as I'm spooling it in?
With the winch speed, should have probably controlled.
It's not stopped. Don't worry about it then.
And again, having a handheld here would have been better for communication.
Yeah.
I think Luca thought maybe that the winch had actually stopped, and it hadn't. I just wanted to get some tension on it. You can see the winch point there on the left. We're kind of right up level with it, and from that point there I was able to drive. So just really needed to get the front wheels over that hump. Plenty of rain still coming down.
I don't want to jinx this, but we might be over the harder parts too.
Me trying to remember what the track was like 2 and a bit years ago when I last drove it. You can see that rain's not letting up anytime soon.
And if that storm is the storm that you saw on the bomb on your phone, Luca, then it should come out sunny again.
Optimistic that it's going to come out sunny again. So this section through here again isn't too bad, and that's what you find with Billy Goat. You know, there's sections that are much more technical and difficult with rock steps and ruts.
Get to the neck and then the drive around the back yet.
And then there's sections like this that are really a fairly easy drive. You know, there's nothing too difficult about this, and even in these conditions, the tyres I'm running are handling it fine.
Fast Winchester guys, well done.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming and helping me out.
Fucking did a mad job holding that bag for you.
So again, a little bit of tyre slippage there, and
yeah, I was faffing around trying to get the camera to sit on my dash so I could film in front, and then because I was on the angle, I couldn't fit it anyway.
so opted for that left-hand line there, yeah, but just didn't have enough momentum and not getting the traction.
Right to come back to the flat issue.
And somebody stalled it.
You're clear, I'm a long way away, Dan.
Yeah, again, a little bit too eager trying to restart from there. I think I need to come back and just get a bit of run up.
Yeah, I might have to just take a completely different line there.
So just looking at it to see whether I think I can take that right hand line. But yeah, once I get the front wheel up.
Using your left up against the bank of the rocks there.
Yeah, well that's what I tried the first time, hard left. Where did you go, Paul?
I straight on one of the rocky holes towards the right.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to do then.
You can come back further, mate. You're hard, your left rear wheel wants to fall in.
So again, trying that same line that Paul sort of took, but just don't have the flex that he has or the tyres that he has to get the grip that I need to be able to climb up that. Was starting to think this might be another winch situation, but I also thought if I got enough momentum in the right line, I could probably get up here.
I'll come out.
And there it is. Got it?
Where am I going? Oh yeah, I'm going to try to go across the rocks as well.
So yeah, just continuing our way up here.
Should take a sec soon to adjust GoPro as well. This is all happening because the battery's not know about it.
And again, we're onto an easier section of the track here. Paul's just up ahead with that FJ, just crawling everything.
At least on this section,
Super
the ridges
capable
run with
rig,
the
that
direction
thing.
of the track.
Everything he points it at, he just makes it look easy.
Might stop now for a sec. You got a safe spot there, Luca? Yeah, I'm fine.
A little bit off camber, as you can see there after this next hump. And getting onto another rocky section here. Climbing up nicely here, you can see the another section here with rock steps. Working our way just up onto this next section. Getting very close to the top now. Every time you think you're pretty much there on Billy Goats, you seem to just realise that no, you've got that little bit more to go.
I should take a sec soon to adjust GoPro as well. This is
And
all happening.
you can see that crease that we just drove over on the track, so I tend to try and get two wheels on the high side, two on the low side, and drive up and around it, sort of spanning it rather than drive straight across it. And that's just a function of the vehicle and tyre that I've got, with the suspension I've got and the tyres I've got.
At least on this section, the ridges run with the direction of the track.
So again, this is all pretty much just rock. It's so wet it's hard to tell, but still getting enough traction on this. You can see a couple of wombat holes here, so again trying to choose that line so that I span them and keep as many tyres as possible in contact with the ground to keep climbing.
For a sec. You got a safe spot there, Luca? Yeah, I'm fine.
And again, just trying to choose the lines that are going to keep as many wheels on the ground for me as possible. So very different lines to what Paul and some of the other guys are driving. Bit of user error there, stalled it again. Getting used to driving a manual. bit of right boot to get up over that little rock step. And you can see there the weather is sort of trying to tease us a little bit with showing us a little bit of blue sky.
You still coming, Jason?
Yep.
I'll keep going then. It's a bit of an early bit here.
Little parking or stopping area off to the left hand side there. And yeah,
See, we can meet up so I can grab that GoPro again.
so another rocky section here with a bit of a rock step.
I'll catch up to you soon and get that GoPro again.
Paul, you got a copy from Dan?
Oh, okay, I'll stop. Alright. Oh, we're still stopped for a sec, so we'll be moving in a sec. I don't want to keep, I don't want to force, I want to let Jason. This will probably be good.
So yeah, Paul's just found a spot to pull up because he's got one of Dan's GoPros mounted on the back of his vehicle.
Sorry, I missed all that. Are you guys at the top?
Decent rock step here.
Okay.
And again, just trying to drive my way around it. A little bit of persuasion there to get some traction. Certainly worked these tyres pretty hard on this trip.
No, we've still got a ways to go, mate.
Can't be that far, honestly. I'm looking at the map, I'm thinking, can't be that far.
So just pulled up there, waiting for the other guys, and so Dan could retrieve his GoPro off Paul, and now we're sort of hooking in for the final stretch of Billy Goat. As you can see, the weather's closed back in, the rain's got heavier again, and the promise of that storm moving on didn't really materialise. And you can see just how lumpy the track is through here, seeing how much Paul's FJ is moving. So quite a bit lumpier through here. And again, you can see I'm driving sort of slightly different lines to Paul. Horses for courses, and the vehicle and suspension and tyres that you're running. So just coming up on this left-hand turn where there's a sort of a bit of a stopping area there on the right-hand side, and this is actually pretty close to the top, closer to the top than I remembered.
Yeah, I remember this little area with the pull-off on the side there. It's closer to the top than I remembered.
There you go, mate.
Paul and I just passed a little area where the track actually splits, and there's an area where you can pull right off the track, but I remembered it, but it's closer to the top than I remembered.
So Paul and I are just starting now to approach the neck.
Paul and I are almost at the neck
that
now.
Narrow section on the track where everybody takes a photograph, and some people take some drone footage there. Not a great day for photos today. Would have loved to have gotten some great photos and footage of the cars up here, but wasn't to be today. So
Unfortunately not the best day for getting pictures on the neck here.
Paul's just heading across first. Nice steep drop off on each side here. And even this section of track is much more torn up. The rock's exposed here. which it certainly wasn't last time I drove it. It's like it's a different track almost, a little bit off camber there, and again more exposed rock on this high point here. So a little parking area here on the eastern side of the neck.
Here we are up on the neck on Billy Goats, just driven this in the rain. Sky is kind of clearing a little bit. Hard to get much of a shot out there. I'm trying not to get this camera too wet. Here comes Dan.
Sorry for the wonky footage here. I'm trying to focus the camera and keep it covered from the rain and all at once.
And Luca.
So what a trip for Dan's first time doing Billy Goat Bluff.
This is about as gnarly as it gets driving this thing.
So yeah, Dan's brought his 90 series all the way up. Decent mud terrain tyres and a 2-inch lift, and no need to winch even in these conditions. And likewise Luca and his TB48 Patrol, twin locks, so yeah, no challenges for him there either. So yeah, from the neck, just a matter of pushing on through to the car park at the Pinnacles. We weren't too sure if we were going to go up to the lookout or not given the conditions, but Dan had never been here before, so did want to show him where the lookout was at least.
Yeah, I thought initially it was just range, but yeah, you're obviously close now. It's still not much good.
So yeah, Dan's just having a few challenges with his radio, and Paul was just waiting up for all of us there, and
I apologise, Dan. I didn't realise it was you. I thought it was someone.
the rain has well and truly set in at this point, getting heavier, not lighter. So we are glad to be off the steep section of Billy Goat by this point. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you've got any questions on the track, and please like and subscribe to the channel as always. Catch you in the next video, and as I said at the start, this is part of a larger trip that will come to the channel in due course, but we've brought this one forward just because of all the interest in the Billy Goat Bluff track at the moment. So thanks again, and see you in the next one.